It's June 1st here in southern Wisconsin. You guys can see I'm actually in the shocker plot here. Clover looks nice. Things are coming up really good, and I'm going to kill this clover. So, that being said, why are we going to do this? This is year 3 on this clover. It's time to actually put some brassicas in this particular plot. This is the furthest west plot. It's actually between bed and food. We get some pretty good transition through here. Last year, a lot of doe movement in this area. Would have been a great spot to take out does. We did not end up shooting any does on this property last year. Could have been a mistake, but we'll see what's happening because we're pulling a lot of the summer food out. Hence another reason why I'm taking this out. Now, that being said, you guys can see I got the Roundup and the sprayer ready. I'm going to spray all this. The lower half looks really good with clover. Upper half's got some quack grass in it, dandelion, a couple different broadleaves in it also. So we're going to hit this hard with a heavy dose of Roundup. And then we're going to come in here. It's going to no-till program in this particular spot. I'm going to run buckwheat in here, but I'm also going to place a screening along this lower edge. So right up against where the stand location is here on the east side, and all the way over to the stand location on the west side, the pine tree in the corner. That being said, we have a mock off of a big oak tree, well, a good-sized white oak here, and they use it quite a bit. So we're going to actually utilize that. Again, I'm going to cut a couple of these honeysuckle out of here. And we're going to make this kind of loop around and kind of come to the center and basically make it a little bit of a horseshoe shape in here. And the reason for that is we'll be able to have deer on one side to the other side. The deer will have to transition around to see each other, and that's kind of the whole plan with this small little plot. Now, also the thing to think about here is this is actually a transition plot, so it'll be a good kill plot. It's right off the road by 150 yards. It's right next to where we used to park, but now with the building we park further to the east. We'll actually enter in by walking down the road, coming into the property from the north side and entering up the cliff. It's an easy in, easy out, especially with this screening that we're going to put in here. So we're using Northwoods whitetail screening this year, so you guys will be able to check out how that grows. But the plot basically faces the south. We get sun, I'd say, from probably currently 9:30 a.m. all the way through to 5 p.m. And that allows the morning dew to actually get picked up by whatever plants are in here. So even if we do go into a drought situation, this plot usually does pretty well. So that's the plan. Buckwheat, screening. Buckwheat and screening will go in here in 2 weeks. We're going to kill this off. I may end up having to kill it off again when we put the seed in. There will be no tilling in this plot this year for sure, and we will behind that be putting a brassica mix that I've designed that I'm going to use myself this year. We'll talk more about that later in the year, so watch out for that. We appreciate watching the Obsession. We're going to hit a couple other spots, talk about those too, so stick around. We'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, well, shocker plot is done. We're going to head over to Dad's plot next. We're going to show you guys that. I got a new plan over there also, another no-till program. Basically controlling the deer movement from what we seen last year. There's a bunch of rye in there right now, so we'll head over there, talk about that when we get to it. Stick around. Alright guys, well, you guys can see we are in Dad's plot now. Gonna have to replace that mock. They chewed that one off. Ladder stands right here in the corner. Dad's ground blind's way over there on the east, or the west, sorry, the west side of the property, on the west side of the plot. You guys can see that my rye has headed out. So we're gonna kill it right now. It's not mature yet. But anyhow, I'm gonna spray the heck out of this. Gonna kill this dead. Got a couple burning nettles, a couple thistles in here. There's a little bit of brassica stuff left over from last year in the middle of the plot. That being said, we're going to kill this off. I'm going to put a small amount of screening on the top edge here to help hold the deer kind of in this horseshoe shape. So when they enter the plot, they'll actually transition through here. So what they've been doing is transitioning down through this location. Gives us a shot. It's a pretty good spot. Had a lot of experience last year with some pretty good bucks in here. The buck I ended up shooting with a rifle. I ended up letting him go like the first couple days of bow season here, just because I was looking for a different particular deer at that point. But anyhow, we're going to do the same thing this year. We're going to put some brassicas in here. There's actually a little buckwheat down in here also I can see. So we're going to kill all this off anyway. And then I'll show you guys the next plot. We'll head over to the Iron Throne. And we'll head over to the Jankity. We're killing all our plots off here, getting ready for our no-till program with buckwheat. And then we'll be putting brassicas this year in. And a couple other little things. We're going to show you some experimental stuff that we're working with. So stick around for that. We appreciate you guys. Let's get to doing it. Well, we're going to call that one good. Basically killing this off, do the same thing we talked about. There's a maple tree right behind us, looks really rough. It looked great just a little while ago. Just needs some rain. So, anyway, we'll move on to the next plot, go to the Iron Throne, show you guys what we got going on there. We have some switch already planted. Be a pretty good idea over there too, but stick around. Alright guys, well, right up over here is where the Iron Throne sits. You guys can see the rye in here is up pretty high again. Small little plot. You guys seen where I tilled it earlier? I had actually put switchgrass all in that. Down below that location is actually 4th year switch. And that stuff was mowed once and coming up. There's some milkweed and stuff in it. I'm actually going to leave the milkweed. It sounds a little weird, but it's kind of the only location where I do have a lot of milkweed. So I'm going to leave that and let the switch come up around it for the butterflies and bees and things like that. This here, I'm going to kill this off just like I did the other ones. There is a mock scrape out in front on this pine tree over here. It's about a 20-yard shot. You guys seen this location. This is where Mike killed a great big 10-pointer in here. 130-some-inch 10-pointer. One of the first years that he hunted here with me. So this location works out really well. Another transition area from bed to food, and then our destination food below, which I'll show you guys later. So I'm gonna spray this off. Shouldn't take very long. We'll head down to Jankity. We got to do that. We're gonna spray that off. We'll head down to Mom's plot, spray that off. Then we're gonna come around. Bob should be here. Bob Top's here to help me today on the building, so you guys will see Bob a little bit later. But I'm going to spray all this off here and get everything going so you guys can kind of see our no-till program this year here on the Triple B. that's that one. Pretty simple little setup. Basically what we did is pinch the deer down. I might extend the plot a little bit to the west here. Here a bunch of geese. But if we extend the plot to the west a little bit, it'll help that east-west transition on level 2. We talk about our levels all the time. Stick around for that. We can pull layouts later in the year. Get over to Jenkins. Alrighty, well, you guys just seen on the pan shot there, we've got some habitat pockets that we had put in, some hybrid popples up earlier. You guys see that Kathy and I got those all covered and protected. Majority of those trees were in really good shape, even though we let them go for 3 or 4 weeks early here. A couple of them did get nipped by the deer, but we protected them now. Basically just get them up above the deer's head height. Now that there's so much other brush and other food and other green coming up, I don't think they'll be nibbling on them anyway, but this will help get them above the tree or the deer level. You guys also seen in the pan shot, there's that tree line that Mike and I and Kathy put in last year. That's really helped out. You guys would be surprised, even though those are smaller trees, that transition that they're utilizing now. There's a water hole straight to the east. They hit that water hole, and they transition along this east-west movement along this upper level of level 2. So it's actually created east-west movement more. It helps keep our deer on our property longer. The longer deer on the property, the better percentage you have of shooting the deer, right? So that's the whole idea of this, is to keep them moving kind of in a circular motion on your property, or keep them away from the property lines as much as possible, especially for daylight movement. But again, rye, you guys see that. We got the rye here in the Jankety plot. I'm going to kill this off. You guys can see all the broadleafs and stuff that were left over from last year. I did plant the upper half in corn. Does not look like it's doing very well. So that being said, if this continues on this particular spot, I am actually going to put screening across the top of this. So we use Northwood's screening, and once we put that in, I will create the rest of this. Will end up being brassicas this year, I believe, again. That, or I'm going to split it up between winter wheat and winter oats. Haven't really decided on that, but we'll see. So we'll figure that part out here shortly. Like you guys said, or seen before, like you guys had seen in the last plot, you guys can see where I had tilled up. That's actually all switchgrass, which hasn't popped yet, but we're not expecting too much height this year, you know, maybe 2-3 feet. But we also used Northwood's whitetail, was it Caven Rock I got from John. So we're going to use the Caven Rock in there, and hopefully it'll come up here in 2 or 3 years. It'll be really nice, and we will go from there. Jankety stand is right here behind us. You enter in from the north side, sneak down around and through. This is an evening hunt only. You're getting the transition. If you're going to shoot does on this property, it's far enough away from their bedding area that they won't make it to there if you make a good shot. Usually they're going to run downhill. They'll actually end up in the swamp down below us, which is also good. So that's if we hunt this at all this year, but we got to have the food in here just to help sustain the deer. So I'm going to spray this off. Stick around. Head down to Mom's spot, show you guys that, and then we're going to meet Bob over at the building. We got the big cornfield to spray, a couple things guys what's happening. Stick around. Just a quick overview of our no-till program here. Alright guys, well, I did put corn in here. It looks like there's some coming, and there's not some coming. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. We're going to give it its chance. If it doesn't work out, it's getting brassica. That simple. So I'm going to spray this off. You guys can see our old screening from down there. There's some rye down in there. Bob's up at the house waiting for me. So I'm going to spray this off quick, and then we're going to head up there, and we'll show you guys what's happening the rest of the day. Stick around. Up, we're gonna head back. Almost out of fuel. Hopefully we make it. Stick around. Show you guys what's going on over there. All right, you guys can see we're down to the big plot right below the house here, or the lodge here at the Triple B. Some of the rye is up. You guys can see some of the grasses and stuff. They come back up. Some of the broadleafs that are in this. We are going to kill this off. This is actually where my mom will bow hunt, crossbow hunt. She'll be actually up on the building here and be able to shoot down as the deer come into this particular spot. She shot a doe here last year, so we're hoping she'll be able to shoot a doe or some buck or whatever comes in here this year. My mom and dad usually hunt the first couple weeks of bow season here with me, and we take them out and film them for you guys to watch on the show. It's usually a pretty good time, especially if we can get mom to shut it down just a little bit, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm going to open up the boom here. We've got 25 gallons of spray left, and we got about 2 acres, so that should be about perfect. We should be able to get this all sprayed off. And the corn on this side is doing real well. I noticed now that we're getting warmer temperatures and the sun coming out, the corn's coming up really good over here too on the east side of the property. So we're going to give it its week here, but killing off any of the competition here is going to help that growth. So stick around for that. Let's just get this done. Got a real small half right here. Gotta let the wheeler cool off. And we are out. Alright guys, Bob's here. I'm behind schedule, so that was all my fault. But we're gonna get some more studs and stuff up, put some more walls up, get some stuff done today. Got a few hours together, we'll get some stuff done on Triple B. You guys seen that we got all the plots sprayed off for the no-till program, so we'll be getting some of our buckwheat in. We'll be putting in screening here in the middle of the month, so I'll probably have you come down and help out with that. Just broadcast that in.
Yeah.
So that way we're not tearing up the soil as much and turning up more weed seed and grass and all of that crap. I mean, you know all about that. You know, it's a program that seems to work pretty decently. Especially for doing food plots, the buckwheat program. It's not anything special designed by anybody. A lot of people will claim that they had, you know, it was my idea. Well, not really. It was actually farming from years and years ago.
Yep.
You know, so some people use rye, some people use buckwheat, some people use both.
Yep.
But in general, it's a farming practice, so you don't have to turn your soil and get a bunch of erosion. Real important when we're down here by the creek.
I was going to say, the erosion in this area, there's a couple good spots that doing the planting of the buckwheats or whatever, that really saves. Because you can go in, plant it, have it get all run off, and you've just wasted time and seed.
Yeah, well, like last year, I had to plant corn, what, 3 times?
Yeah.
You know, first time it washed it out. Planted it the second time, all excited, supposed to be a real mellow rain. Next thing you know, we got 4 inches in like 2 hours, washed out the entire thing again. Yep. And replanted again for the small amount of corn we had last year. But this year, everything's looking good so far. So you guys seen all of that on the show. We appreciate you guys watching. Bob and I are going to get to work. We'll show you guys more of the Triple B as we progress throughout the year here, I guess. Yep. And just building ourselves our own little hunting lodge. Stick around.